Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy to have you. If you're new, go ahead and hit the subscribe button because it's a fun time around here. And welcome to the reading vlog. Okay, wait, let me backtrack. Welcome to the bookish vlog. Well, I mean, it is a reading vlog. Okay, let me explain. I was going through my SD card and realized, wow, I've started a lot of vlogs that I have just never finished. I didn't want to just chuck the footage because I have a very bad habit of just chucking footage, and I also have a very bad habit of not finishing vlogs. Not anymore. We're leaving that habit in the past because why am I filming content and doing nothing with it? That makes no sense. What's the point? Like, literally there isn't one. At the very end of this video is where all the book reviews will be, and I think from now on, if I film a vlog and do book reviews at the end during my reading wrap up, I'll keep the ones from the vlog like short, concise, get more in depth in the ones that I didn't have a vlog for because it seems pretty redundant. Right now, I just finished a book right now and I'm looking for my next read. That won't be included in this. I won't confuse you anymore. I will give you all a bookish question of the day though. If you could play a book character, who would you play? I really love Legendborn, but maybe like the older Bree. Wait, she's in college. Future Bree. If not that, I have not read this book yet, but I feel like me and the character on the front resemble each other. It is Love Radio. I'll play her. I don't know. Most of my favorite characters are in fantasy books. I mean, Legendborn. I mean, I'd have to do it Cell, but I feel like I could maybe survive in Legendborn, but some of them I'm not surviving. I am not. And I'm also not surviving a marriage of convenience where my husband hates me either. So I wouldn't want to be put in that. And thrillers? No, thank you. No, thank you. I don't know. But I'd love to hear your answers and welcome to the vlog. Enjoy it. Stay a while. I hope you enjoyed this footage. I had a lot of fun filming over the course. This was a couple months. I think at least 3 months. Also, yeah, I'm filming this intro way later, okay? Yeah, I know. Hi besties, welcome back to my channel. I have a couple things to do today, tomorrow, pretty much just this weekend that involve books. Number one, most importantly, I'm going to be going to Barnes & Noble and picking up Nothing Like the Movies, the sequel to one of my favorite books ever, Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. If there's any YA romance you need to read, it is Better Than the Movies. It is just so cute, so rom-com. It will have you giggling, kicking your feet, exactly like that. I also need to go to the library to return some books. I have the stack over there. I'll show you what books I'm returning and what books that I want to renew and get again. Then I need to go to a different library and get my library card fixed because I let it expire, so I have to get a new one. Start the process all over, and I also have to ship a book because someone bought a book for me. I sold, I have 2 copies of the Fairy Loot Stolen Air, so I sold one, so I need to ship that book, and I think that's it. So let me show you the books that I am returning to the library. All right. Stack of books that I got from the library. Out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 books I checked out, I've read 1. My daughter just picked this one up, so I'm going to return it. The Tale of Miss William Heels by Beatrix Potter and John Heels. The New Couple in 5B is the one book that I read, and I rated this 3 stars. 1,000 Heartbeats by Kiera Cass. I will be returning this one only because I finally found my copy. I checked this out because I couldn't remember if I had a copy of it or not, and then the other day when I was rearranging my shelves, I found it, so I do have one. So this can go back and I'll read my own. The Curse So Dark and Lonely, I will recheck this one out. A Heart So Fierce and Broken, the sequel, I'm going to return it just in case I don't like this one. And Ember in the Ashes, gonna recheck it out because I was like, I'm not gonna read it, and then I just keep seeing it everywhere online, so I'm gonna give it a chance. Gonna try again. When you are mine, I'm just gonna return it. Malibu Rising, I'm gonna recheck this one out. I'm still interested in reading it. Vespertine by Margaret Rogerson, I'm gonna recheck it out. Still interested in reading. Truly Devious, this is a maybe. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with this yet. And then lastly, I have There You'll Find Me by Jenny B. Jones. Don't know. It's another maybe. Might not, but it's a library, so even if I return it, I can go back and check it out anytime I want. It's free. It doesn't get better than free. And I actually got a book in the mail the other day. I'm gonna show you that. It is Mine for the Moment by Katarina Mara. I have one other book by her. I have not read it yet. This is from Bloom Books, so thank you so much, Bloom Books. This is a billionaire romance. Look at this cute sticker that it came with. A moment for the sticker. Thank you. Let's get going. I say that right now. I'm about to go take a nap, and then I'm going to the library, and then I'm going to the bookstore. In that order. In that order. Yes, ma'am. Okay guys, we're at Barnes & Noble and I'm about to go pick up Nothing Like the Movies. Super excited. Just saw a self-driving car. Also, I keep seeing spoilers for this in the book and it's scaring me. It's scaring me. Currently. Heard great things about this author, but I'm scared to read her. Did not like this book. This looks interesting. I want to read that and that and that. Came here for this. Okay, book acquired. I'm only getting 1 book because I have self-control. Okay, besties, today is the day that I'm actually starting the book. I got it a couple days ago, but now I have time to sit down and read. I have to set the mood for this. It has to be perfect. So I'm gonna go pick up some coffee from Dunkin'. Don't know what I'm gonna get. Probably a pumpkin spice latte. By the way, I tried my first pumpkin spice latte the other day. Where have they been all my life? Where have they been? My mother taught me the golden rule of dating before I even hit second grade. It feels good to be back. That was so cheesy, but seriously, it feels good to be back. You're silly. I'm also reading The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden, fun fact. So when I was younger, I always read like 5 books at a time, and then when I got older, I couldn't do it, and now I can do it again. But they have to be like completely different genres. I remember reading 2 fantasy books at once like a couple months ago, probably like 8 months ago, a couple. I just could not remember which happened in which book. I was like, my brain is not computing. So yeah, now I just switch it with genres. Frida McFadden books are so bingeable, so I don't know what I did wrong, but it stopped recording. Okay, I was done talking anyways though, but still. Besties, this lighting is probably horrid, but I just got Dunkin's, like their holiday drink. I am super excited to try this, like y'all don't even know. I have tried the cold brew. This is the signature latte. Very mindful, very demure. No, I'm just kidding. I really like it. I do think I like the cold brew more though. I got a donut for my daughter, of course. I said surprise me. Very surprised, the glazed donut. Wow. This is like cutting off circulation to my brain. I give that a 9 out of 10. I do like the cold brew more, probably because that has the cold foam on it. I'm about to go meet my friend for dinner, a belated birthday dinner for her, and I'm super excited. But yeah. Said friend, we just ate. It was really good, and then went to Target to window shop. Only one of us accomplished window shop. Guess which one? But that's okay. That's okay. Haul coming soon. Anyways, happy birthday, Riley. I've been so busy, I'm not even sure the last time I updated this, but I finally have my full TBR for the graphic novel manga list on here and my Kobo. I got my Kobo set up, and I'm going to show you guys everything that I have. Since I Could Die Tomorrow, this is a manga. I picked it up at the comic book store. It's volume 1. It's by Sumako Kari. I know nothing about it. I did read the back, so I guess I do know something about it. But it says, Sawako Hana is 42 years old and single. She works hard at a film company. One night, all of a sudden, her heart palpitates and her body goes cold. Is she going through menopause? Navigating her 40s is hard, but when an old friend from her hometown reaches out to meet up, Sawako realized that maybe having someone to talk to about aging could be a really good thing. After all, you never know what might happen tomorrow. It sounds like it'll be a very sweet, like, comfort read. It looks really good. This was sent to me by Penguin Random House. It's Full Shift, a graphic novel. Don't know what this one's about, but it looks so good. True Beauty, I bought this like forever ago. Also a graphic novel. Oop, almost dropped the book. Almost a graphic novel. It was novel? Novel? Almost a graphic novel. Novel. It was written originally on Webtoon, and actually this has a lot of bad reviews when I was looking at it. Hopefully I like it, but it has a lot of bad reviews. From Barnes & Noble, I picked up Mermaid Scales in the Town of Sand by Yoko Komori. This just looks so fun and so cute. And then this one is not technically a manga. I'm pretty sure manga I thought had to have pictures. There is pictures, but like just like throughout the book, not the whole thing is illustrated. I'm not sure. I'll just have to look that up because I really am not sure. Those are all the physical books that I have. Now for the ebooks that I have on my Kobo. If you don't know what a Kobo is, it is an e-reader. This is a Kobo Libra Color, so it's a color e-reader. It's about the size as a Kindle Oasis, but it's a lot lighter than a Kindle Oasis. I haven't decorated it yet, so it looks very lonely. But you can see the covers are in color from Kobo Plus, which is like Kindle Unlimited for Kobo. We have Book of Storms, and then Fangirl Volumes 1 and 2, A First Time for Everything, Spinning by Tilly Walden, Speak, Fangs, A Sign of Affection, and Frizzy. So those are some options I have because your girl is catching up on a reading goal. Like I said, it's my birthday month. I'm trying to read the most books this month. I don't know if I actually said that in this video, but I said it in a video because I filmed a couple videos because I'm like, I am on my YouTube grind. I am on my YouTube grind. Also, don't ask me why I'm wearing a beanie. I am hoping that when I put this beanie on and speak it into existence that it will get colder because I'm so tired. Every time I go outside, I get bit by mosquitoes. So please get colder. Praying to God, let it get colder fast because we have not been having real winter. It has been fall, like, and then in spring it feels like summer. Like, we've not been having real seasons. Get cold. The mosquitoes gotta get gone. Like, why did I see a cicada the other day? Nar? Nar. Okay, anyways. Now to the reading of this vlog. Let's go. The first book I'm gonna start with is Full Shift. Hi.
My mom shall read this book.
That's right. Starting this one, True Beauty by Youngni. It actually just says prologue episode 4. Oh wait, but it says volume 1, so never mind. Okay, I'm one page in and I'm like side-eye. Thus far, cannot find a microphone. I'm still looking. Actually, I found one and I thought it was really, really ugly. Did not like it. So I'm still looking. There cannot only just be one. Right. I'm not sure what I want when I'm feeling. I think I want a fantasy book, but then I'm like a thriller. But then I'm like, no, why romance? I don't know. I don't know. I really want the book, Call It What You Want, but I can't find it here. I'm about to look on Libby, and I got a new card. Gotta do it for the gram. The book's to gram. There's too many people here, so I'm gonna go to TJ Maxx and find a new sweater because I want a new sweater. Full-time job. Full-time job. Someone tell me if this author is worth it. Books are just so long for romance. Okay, I'm not really looking for anything. I'm just window shopping because I'm stressed and books make me not stressed. I'm not actually stressed. I just love walking around a bookstore. I don't need anything. Hear me out. I know I just said I was window shopping, but hear me out. Is that a key?
Yeah.
I have 5 books that I'm going to be reading in this vlog. That is the goal. First, we have The Middle of the Night by Riley Sager, an adult thriller. This Is Why We Lie by Karin Slaughter, another adult thriller. A Tempest of Tea by Hasfa Fazl. I'm probably saying that wrong. The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. Out of the Clear Blue Sky by Kristen Higgins. These are all library books. I got a ton of books because it had been too long since I went to the library. I picked up Out of the Clear Blue Sky by Kristen Higgins because I see her everywhere. I picked this up because I read another book by Riley Sager. I want to give him another chance because I was not the biggest fan of that book. A Tempest of Tea, I've heard of her other series, it's duology. She wrote We Hunt the Flame, We Feed the Stars duology. I've heard amazing things about it. I picked this one up because it was at the library and it looked really good. I picked this up by Karin Slaughter because I've heard of Pretty Girls. My library didn't have a copy of Pretty Girls, so I got this. I believe this is another adult thriller, Middle of the Night. This is the book that I'm starting with. It is due the soonest. I'm only on chapter 2 and I already have a theory. I'm going into this blind, but based off of the one chapter that I've read. It's about a boy named Ethan Marsh. He's 10 years old, he's in a tent, and then he wakes up and realizes that he's alone. His friend was taken because he went to sleep in the tent. He was camping, woke up, they're gone, and now it's modern day, and he's saying he feels like a weird presence, and he's like, Billy, is it you? Then he's like, no, it's not Billy. I haven't seen Billy in 30 years. But he is now back in the same city because he's like, this is now my house and my parents' bedroom that's now mine. So I think he's saying that his parents have passed on. He has nightmares because of what happened when he was younger. I do have a theory. I'm not gonna say the theory until I read a few more chapters because, girl, please. Okay, no, this is my theory. So obviously it's the prologue was written in 3rd person. My theory is that now that it's in 1st person, it's actually from the POV of the boy. That doesn't make any sense. I was gonna say it's from the POV of the boy that wasn't there. No, that makes sense, right? Of the boy that wasn't there and not Ethan. It says Ethan was here and now Billy's been gone for 30 years. But maybe this is, no, that doesn't make sense, does it? Okay, scratch that theory. It was fun for the 2 seconds I thought about it. I'm gonna keep reading. Okay, his parents aren't dead. It felt like the book was making it sound like they were dead. They just moved to Florida and they gave him the house because he was struggling financially and mentally. But they're not dead. They're very much alive. I can already tell it's gonna be a late night because this book has me hooked so far and I'm only 3 chapters in. Hey y'all, it's the next day. Last night I think I got around to page 90. Now I'm on page 152, chapter 14. Things have changed about Billy's disappearance. A lot of the original people that were here at the time of Billy's disappearance are back in this neighborhood. Ashley Wallace being one of them. She used to babysit Ethan as a kid. Wes was his next door neighbor. He's there taking care of his mom after his dad died, and he's married now with 1 kid and 1 on the way. Officer Patel, he's just an officer in the town, and all of them were there the night before Billy disappeared, and they all saw him the night before, and something very strange happened the night before, and they've never mentioned it until now. Now they've mentioned it to police officers and investigators because something changed with the case. They mention it now, 30 years later. And it's a really strange coincidence that something with the case has changed now that Ethan is back, and something has changed now that they're all 3 in the same vicinity because Ashley, the babysitter, also came back like very recently. Interesting. I'm side-eyeing everyone. The last Riley Sager book I read, the plot twist was just like, what the? I prefer when a plot twist has little hints in the thriller leading up to it. What in the world? Like, where did that come from? I feel like there should be a build-up and it makes sense. That's just me. I read this by Riley Sager and I just did not see the plot twist coming, but not in a way where I was like jaw on the floor. In a way where I was thinking, of course I didn't see that coming because there was no hints toward that. Not sure I'm gonna feel with this one. We'll see. I'm 40% of the way through and I'm gonna keep trekking along. It's probably so loud, but reading outside is genuinely one of my favorite things ever. It's so relaxing, so peaceful. I need to do it more often, but honestly, the weather has not permitted. It is so nice out today. It's perfect. It's a little windy, so, you know, if I let go, it does that. But aside from that, and and my bookmarks far out of the way, I really wanted to finish this copy, but it's due, and I can't renew it because somebody else wants to check it out, which is the work. Which I could finish it today, but I think by the time I finish it, the library would be closed, so I'm probably just gonna have to turn it in and get it on my Kindle. So I really don't know where the book is going at this point. I don't know if I've given a update on what's happening. Ethan keeps feeling Billy's presence everywhere. Like, he feels Billy's presence, and Ashley's dad has Alzheimer's. Ashley's dad has Alzheimer's and keeps saying, "Oh, I see Billy." And Ashley keeps telling him, "No, that's the kid that went missing 30 years ago. You're not seeing him." But Ethan thinks it means something because he's also feeling Billy's presence. And he says he hasn't felt his presence in 30 years since he's been back home. So he put a camera in his backyard to try and catch something. And the camera does catch something. I'm not going to say what. A lot of these people are liars. I mean, everybody's a liar in the book, actually. So they don't discriminate. Everybody lies. So perfect for a thriller. You know the vibes. Anyways, I'm going to continue. So I had a free drink at Dunkin'. I got a medium iced lava cake signature latte. It was here on the menu and I just want to try it. Okay, that's really good. I didn't know if I'd like it, but it is. Yeah, I have less than 100 pages left and I now have a new theory. I feel like Russ did it, but this is kind of like a violent crime for a kid, so. There's 60 pages left. I always get so anxious at the end of the thriller, even though, like, it's just a book. Yeah, whatever. I want my theory to be right. I don't like being wrong, but I also don't like being right. Because what do you mean I was able to predict that? Let's see. I will give my thoughts in the morning. It's 2:16 a.m. Wow. All right, I believe the last thing I said is that I'm getting my hair braided. So a moment for the hair. A moment for the hair. I got brown. Obviously, you can see that. 6 hours later, this is what the hair looks like. In the video, I think I said I was choosing between these two books to read. I ended up reading a Kindle Unlimited thriller. I'm thinking if the next book takes me too long to read, I may just condense this to a 3-book vlog, and then the other 2 be in a separate vlog. A Tempest of Tea and the book by Kristen Higgins that I don't remember the name of right now. Reading update. I'm going to talk about my thoughts on all of the books at the very end, but because I just read Middle of the Night, I'm going to put the timestamp on here. If you want to hear my thoughts on that, click this timestamp and you'll hear it, and then just come back, just come back and see the other books. Come back. Yeah, you better come back. You better come back. Because of how Middle of the Night went and my track record with Riley Sager, we're going to put this down. I'm going to put down The House Across the Lake and pick up This Is Why We Lied by Karin Slaughter. This is the book that I read while I was getting my hair braided, by the way. I'll probably include my thoughts on that in the end of this vlog too. We are moving on to Karin Slaughter, my first Karin Slaughter book ever. I'm kind of nervous, not gonna lie. I really, really want to like this book and like her books. I'm trying to be in the end. I have successfully avoided spoilers for every single book because as soon as I see Karin Slaughter, swipe, not interested, because you're not gonna get me. You're not gonna. There are so many series that I'm like, okay, I have to read them because I can only escape spoilers for so long because they're so popular. Her really popular book is Pretty Girls, though. Anywho, on to Karin Slaughter. Let's get it. I like reading all the first line of books. I haven't done it in a while, though. Not a map in the thriller. Not a map in the thriller. It's giving you should write fantasy, Karen. Will Trent sat down at the edge of the lake to take off his hiking boots. Not there being a lake in this too. Will Trent sat down at the edge of the lake to take off his hiking boots. The numbers on his watch glowed in the darkness, an hour away from midnight. He could hear an owl in the distance. A gentle breeze whispered through the trees. That's how I know whether or not to check out a book. I usually read the first page. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna like that. Or, you know what? It doesn't sound like a complete waste of time. Just kidding. I'm kidding. Kidding. Can't read a book when the music is too good. Okay. And a reading update. I feel like I have not updated on this specific book at all. It is about a lady named Mercy. She is a mom. She lives on this resort, I wouldn't say resort, this campground vacation site in the middle of the woods. There's fly fishing, hiking, a bunch of group activities, mainly couples go. It's in a rural area and there's no cell phone reception for guests, only for the workers there in case there's an emergency. So she lives there with her mom, her dad, her brother, her son, and her ex-husband Dave. And they run the place. Her dad was over it, but he was in an accident on the mountain and she took over for him, and he is just very bitter about it. He does not like that she's running it, doesn't like how she's running. Despite the changes that she has made that has helped the company overall, it's been more lucrative. It seems like the place will be able to stay open for longer. Her dad is very mad about it, probably because he is wheelchair bound now. He's older, so he can't run the place the way he wants to, and Mercy is doing it, but he just has everything bad to say about it. Her mom just listens to everything that her dad says, and despite the fact that they have two kids, Christopher, Mercy's brother, and Mercy, they adopted a child, Dave. Like, he was homeless, living in a group home, and he ran away from the group home and he ended up living at the campground secretly, and they found him one day and kind of like adopted him. But that is also Mercy's ex-husband. They said they never really saw each other as siblings. They weren't raised as siblings. I mean, okay. I look like I'm about to go ski. Anyway, so they have a child together. His name is John, and Mercy thinks that John is just a blessing. That's one of the reasons she decided to get her life together. Dave, he's a drug addict. He uses everyone for money, and that's all he cares about. And he's also very abusive to Mercy, which is why they have this on-again, off-again relationship, but she keeps going back, and she knows she shouldn't, and she should stay away, but she keeps doing it despite everything. But Dave, the mom, they call her Biddy because she's itty bitty, she's tiny. She loves Dave more than she loves Christopher or Mercy, her biological children. You should love all your kids the same, obviously. She thinks Dave is just God's gift to earth. He can do no wrong, even though he's a drug addict, not a very good dad to John, and abusive to Mercy. Everyone kind of just turns their head to all of this. It's not a very amazing family dynamic. Since her father, Cecil, is not liking the way Mercy's running this place, he wants to sell it. Everything has to be upon a family vote, and Mercy is outvoted because she wants to keep it. She thinks it's great. It's $12 million split between all of them, and she's like, if Dave gets this money, or my son John gets this money, Dave is going to blow through his money and he's going to use John's money, and she's very worried about her son being left with nothing, which is a very valid concern, I feel. But she's outvoted and everyone threatens her in a different way. And she says she knows a bunch of secrets about every one of her family members that could land them in jail and just ruin their name. They all kind of start getting a little nervous after that family meeting. Her mom threatens to put a knife in her back. Her brother threatens her, says that like he can take one thing away from her, and that is the rest of her life. She has an abusive ex-husband, Dave, who of course wants this money. So it's not looking good. And then that afternoon, after the family meeting, Mercy winds up dead. She's in a lake. All fingers are pointed at her family. The main officer on duty, he's pointing his fingers at the ex-husband, Dave. But her family is crazy, insane. I have not mentioned everything because like I don't want to say everything. It could be anybody. I have an idea of who I think it may be. As far as like a solid concrete theory, no, I'm just along for the ride. As for Karin Slaughter's writing, I do really like it. I have not read a thriller this detailed in a minute, and every time I'm like, that doesn't make sense, she comes on and explains like, yes, thank you. I needed that explanation. That was a very long-winded update, but safe to say I like the book so far, and I'm also wondering who the killer is, so this is why we lied. I'm gonna keep it pushing. Y'all, okay, so I've been predicting so many of the thrillers that I've been reading recently. I have, hold on, page 276, about 200 pages left. I am not even kind of sure who I think it is. I do have a theory on who it is, but I have nothing to back it up. I'm just like, I think it was him. Because nobody else thinks it was him. That's it. I don't know if that's good enough. I've never read Karin Slaughter. I don't know if that's how she does it, or if there's gonna be like a reasonable explanation on who the killer is. But y'all, I'm like, who was it? Everybody wanted this lady dead. Which is so sad, and I feel bad for her because she is such a sweet character. She had a super rough upbringing, and her parents are actually the worst. Her sibling is the worst. Her ex-husband is the worst. Everybody's the worst, okay? Like bad thing after bad thing after bad thing kept happening to her, and then when she finally got her life together, nobody cared anymore. And I don't know. And then she died, and she knew she was gonna die. Okay, besties, we have reached the final book of this vlog, this really super long vlog, this bookish vlog, and that is The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. I will be restarting it because I got like 2 chapters in and then stopped reading it, so I'm going to be restarting it. This book is due tomorrow, and I just don't think I have enough time to read it. I mean, I'll try. I was like, I'll just get it on my Kindle, but then I was thinking that defeats the entire purpose of the library. I'm gonna read it, make sure I like it, and if I really like it, I'll buy a copy for myself because this is a completely new author. This book, Out of the Clear Blue Sky, we're getting it out of my dear blue house. I don't know what it is about it. I got it because it looked cute, and now I'm like, I have zero desire to read it. I've been on page 1 for like 3 weeks. So I'm not even joking. Out of my dear blue house, thank you. Nothing against Kristen Higgins. I'm sure she's a nice lady. This is giving summer, so I'm just gonna wait till the summer or spring at least to read. A couple of things I need to do, so I will be listening on audio as well. We love immersive reading around here. We love it. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. I know I was contemplating if I was gonna read another Riley Sager book. Riley Sager Sage. I've already started it. Might as well finish it. Maybe the one that I love. It may be. It may be. All right, let's get to it. Okay, we're gonna take this party to Barnes & Noble and read some more. Not buy anything, just read. Mark my words. Hope I don't eat my words. Back at home, ready to make a dent in this book. The House Across the Lake. This is about a girl named Casey Fletcher. Her mom was this big star, and for a while that's what her mom wanted her to be as well, a huge star, but Casey never wanted that for herself until she turned to drugs, alcohol, basically used that as an outlet, just rebelled against her mom because she didn't want to be the star her mom wanted her to be. Eventually she goes to college, she goes to NYU, and she realizes that she enjoys acting and she does make a name for herself in a lot of films, but she loves theater. That is where her heart is, in theater, and she just followed right in her mom's footsteps despite not ever wanting to do that at first. And she gets married to a man named Lynn. He also works in the film industry, but he's on the other side. He's not the face of the films. He's like behind the scenes. One summer while they're married, they decide to spend at the lake that has been in her family for years. Technically her mom and her aunt own the lake, but they decide to spend their summer there. They're married and in love, but one day she wakes up, she can't find Lynn anywhere. Her and Elijah, they're searching everywhere for Lynn, and they end up finding out that he drowned. Because of this, obviously Casey is grieving, and for the first 6 months after Lynn died, she was surrounded by family, friends, making sure she was okay. But as time goes on, everyone kind of just moves on because, you know, Lynn wasn't their husband, he was her husband. Not that they don't care anymore, but the grief hits her differently than it hits everyone else. So since people weren't constantly checking on her, she turns back to alcoholism, and she thinks she has it under control, but she doesn't. She is fired from a play she's in because she showed up just insanely drunk, and after that it was just a downhill spiral. And her mom wants to send her to rehab, but then they agree, Casey doesn't really have a choice, but they agree that she can go spend her time at the lake being alone in solitude because that was the last place Lynn was alive. And her mom says once you face his death, you'll be able to move on. And Casey's like, I don't want to move on. I don't want to move on from my husband. That staying at the lake will be good for her. Not sure why her mom thinks that, considering that is where Lynn died, but I don't know. That's just me personally, and that's all I know so far. So yeah. I never slip, I never fold. Except I did slip and I did fold because, as you saw, I finished House Across the Lake. I had all my reactions. I actually made a review for every book that I finished in this vlog, but my sound wasn't working. I'm not really sure because my microphone was plugged in, so I don't know if that was a me issue or a camera issue or just, you know, technical difficulties, operator error, I don't know. But I did slip and I did fold. I'll be telling you right now, you don't have my actual raw reaction to when I finished the book right then. I mean, you can see it, like you could see it, but you can hear it. Also, I'm back to hot coffee. I don't know what happened. I just go through phases. I'm like, iced coffee, iced coffee, iced coffee, hot coffee. Large hot coffee with a lava cake swirl, 1 sugar, 4 cream. Okay, finished House Across the Lake. You saw my reaction. Now we're gonna talk about every book that I finished in this vlog, and we're gonna talk about this one last. We're gonna be civilized and go in order. Now let me pull up my Goodreads because I don't even remember the order. Also, here's my Goodreads and my story graph. You can see what I'm reading in real time, my reaction. So the first book that I finished in this vlog was The Middle of the Night by Riley Sager. It was my second time reading him. I ended up giving that 2 stars. It's by a guy named Ethan. He's 40 years old. 30 years ago, his best friend Billy went missing while they were camping together in their backyard. They had a huge argument that day. They were still friends, so they decided to camp out that night. Ethan wakes up, Billy's gone. There's only a slash in the tent, and that is the last anyone sees of Billy. It's been a missing persons case for 30 years until Ethan goes back to Hemlock Circle, the neighborhood where Billy went missing. He moved back there because he was struggling financially, so his parents let him stay there. Why they let him stay in that house, knowing that Ethan has been running from this Billy situation and he has nightmares about it. He's been to different therapists. They shipped him off to boarding school, which again, a very questionable thing to do considering the situation, shipping your son off to boarding school when his friend was kidnapped and then you're not even near your son, but I digress. He moves back here, and when he comes back, he's like, I swear I can feel Billy's presence. If I feel a dead person's presence, I'm leaving. That was the first sign to leave, but you know, like the main character has to be a little dumb, like a little dumb, little stupid. But he stays there, and while he's back, as soon as he's back, Billy's remains were found. So this has turned from a missing persons case. For 30 years, it's been a missing persons case. Now it is a murder mystery. The more Ethan finds out about all the people in Hemlock Circle, he is not sure who's guilty, and he doesn't trust anyone at this point. I gave this book I'm in between 3.5 and 3.75. Oh, well, no. I gave it 2 stars. I felt like it was very repetitive. This dream that he has is mentioned so many times. It always starts out with scritch. If I had to read the word scritch again, I would I don't know. I was tired of reading that. I thought Ethan, like, I know you have to be a little naive, but he made so many, like, stupid decisions. And then I felt like the whole conclusion to the story kind of didn't make sense. It was just like, I'm gonna pick the most bizarre thing to happen so you can't guess it. And I feel like the conclusion to the story still needs to make sense. It really didn't make sense to me. And then a very big part of the story, I'm not gonna say it because I don't want to spoil it. It was like, what was it there for? I thought that this was going to be a huge part of the story because it kept getting mentioned, and then it literally had nothing to do with anything. I have 2 stars, and after that I was so irritated. I was like, I don't even know if I'm gonna read another Riley Sager book. Obviously I did, but I was just like, please. And then the next book that I finished, I didn't vlog this one really. Like, sometimes I'll read it on my Kindle, but I didn't like talk about it explicitly. I didn't like mention, hey, I'm reading this book in the vlog, but it's Meet the Parents by Emily Shiner. I gave that 1 star. It's about Gina. She is engaged to Owen, and she's meeting his parents for the first time. She has ulterior motives though, because she actually knows who his parents are, and she believes that these are the people that killed her aunt many, many years ago. She doesn't know if Owen knows about this. She's kind of like, she kind of drops hints along the way, but he never says anything if he does know. When they're there, mom is like a crazy over obsessed boy mom. The dad is very suspicious but kind of quiet, and it's basically one of those who's really the crazy one stories. Is it Gina? Is it Owen? Is it the dad? Is it Marta? Who is the crazy one, for real? I didn't like the writing. I didn't feel like the story was done. I feel like there's more that could be added to it to give it a little bit more depth, and the main character was like insufferable. I did not like reading from her POV at all, and the mom is so annoying. And I predicted the ending, and it just wasn't the book for me. I did like the premise, like the story. I like that because I love a story where you're like, who is the psycho one? Who belongs in the loony bin? Who is the insane one? You really can't know, but I feel like I knew from the beginning who the crazy one really was. So yeah, not for me, and I ended up giving 1 star. And then I read This Is Why We Lied by Karin Slaughter, and I gave that 4 stars. I didn't realize this is book 12 in an 18-book series, so I have books 1 through 11 to go back to, and 6 more to read after that. I did not know this was a series, but I definitely will read the series because I really enjoy the characters. But it's about a single mom. Her name's Mercy. She owns this vacation site with her family, and they're trying to sell it. She is not with it. Offers $12 million, and they all get to split it. It'd be split between her ex-husband, and her son, her parents, and her brother. But she does not want to sell it because she knows that her ex-husband will just take all the money from her son, because that's all he does. He's an alcoholic, a drug addict. He's just not very stable, and she's afraid that she'll just take everything. And she's like, if we have this business, then like our son will be okay, but I don't trust you. And I wouldn't trust Dave either because he's just a terrible father. Mercy has been through it. She was pregnant at a young age, abused by her parents. Her ex-husband also abuses her, but her ex-husband who abuses her, like her family loves him. Like they just accept him, even though he has put hands on her, put her in the hospital, almost killed her. They just adore him. Mercy doesn't understand him. She's basically just been the black sheep of the family and just been treated terribly her whole life. Whenever they're having this huge argument about the $12 million, characters. Mercy says, if you guys try to take this business from me, I will take all of you guys down with me because I know secrets that could put you guys in jail, in prison for years. And everyone in her family has threatened her that day, and then she dies later that evening, and it is just a question of who murdered Mercy. And all fingers are pointing at her family because they didn't even care that she died. They did not care. The only people that cared were Will and his wife Sarah, and Will is a detective and Sarah is a medical examiner, so they're the perfect people to be here because they're here for their honeymoon, and then their honeymoon got turned into a murder case. But they want to get justice for Mercy because, like, no one cared that she died. Everyone was just kind of indifferent. They're questioning the family, and they're also questioning the guests there because there are some very peculiar guests here that are being hush-hush, keeping secrets. They overheard things that didn't sound quite right. So that is the story. It's a murder mystery. Who killed Mercy? Because everyone's a suspect. No one can be trusted. I really enjoyed this book. I really like Karin Slaughter's writing style, and I will definitely read more of her books, read her backlog and the rest of the series. Really love the characters, and I think it's all about Will Trent. So I loved like the glimpses of his backstory that I had. So yeah, I would love to continue, and I'm glad that I finally gave her a try. So that was 4 stars for sure. All right, and the last book I completed is The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager, and this I don't even know what to think about this book. It's about Casey Fletcher. She is an actress. Her mom was an actress as well. She followed in her footsteps. But before she followed in her footsteps as a teenager, she was very rebellious because she didn't want to do what her mom did. And lo and behold, after she stopped being rebellious and tried out acting, she was like, hey, I'm actually pretty good at this, and did exactly what her mom did. But now she is 35 years old and she is a widow because her husband died. He drowned in a lake, the lake that her family has owned for years and years and years. And since then, she's been an alcoholic and just drinks her life away. She was fired from one of her shows because she just showed up super drunk and just made a fool of herself. So she was fired and hasn't had a job since. She doesn't want to go to rehab, so her mom's like, okay, why don't you go back to the lake where it all happened and face what happened with Lynn. She reluctantly agrees because she doesn't want to go to rehab, so she goes to this lake, and while she's at the lake, she actually saves the woman's life from drowning. Her name is Catherine Royce. She was a supermodel. She's retired now, but she saves Catherine Royce, and they're staying at the house across from them. She's staying there with her husband Tom. Casey saves her, and they become like friendly. Catherine wasn't there long enough for them to really become friends, but one thing she felt like is that Tom like would do something to Casey, and she actually witnessed a fight because Casey is stalking these people with a pair of binoculars that her husband had across the lake, stalking almost their every move. She knows a lot about the relationship that Catherine has ever voiced, and then one day Catherine doesn't return her calls. She doesn't hear from Catherine at all. The last thing she heard from Catherine was a scream in the morning that woke Casey up because she was drunk on her porch. It woke her up. She passed back out and she thought maybe she imagined it, but the neighbor Boone, he heard it too. So they were like, we need to find out what happened to Catherine, but it's so soon. They're like, she's not really deemed a missing person, and no one's gonna take it seriously if you two are the one reporting it because y'all don't know Catherine. You haven't known her long enough, and she's been posting on social media. So detective, her name's Wilma, is like, it's probably fine, nothing fishy, but Tom is being very suspicious. Casey's like, I know Tom did something to her, and we have to find out. I have to find out why, because I saved Catherine's life. She felt like she had a bond with her. Yeah, that's the story. You know, this is my favorite Riley Sager book so far. It is, but when I tell you I really liked it, and then I got to the very I would say the last like 100 pages, I'm like, what is going on? This would make a very good thriller comedy movie because the ending was just like so bizarre. Perfect word to describe it is just bizarre, because it's like, no way I would have ever guessed that happened, because how would I? Because that came out of left field. I think I made some predictions. I was not right. Not a single thing I said was right. How could it have been? If you read this book, you're probably like, yeah, how would anyone know? But at the same time, it was a fun time. I enjoyed the first 80%, and the last 20%, it was just a fun ride. I didn't know what was gonna happen next up until the very last page. So for that, I will give it 3.75 stars, and I will read The Only One Left by Riley Sager because that is, I believe, his most popular book. We'll give it a try because why not? Like, it was fun. It was fun. I love a fun book. And those are all the books that I completed in this vlog. I'm still reading the others that I started. I didn't finish those. Check out my Goodreads and Storygraph for updates or live updates because I love Goodreads and Storygraph. I love it. I wish there was a book app that combined Goodreads interface with Storygraph stats and made it so much more user-friendly and just like a little bit cuter and more aesthetic and perfect. I don't know when this is gonna happen. If you know of an app, let me know. Oh yeah, I'm also gonna show you all the books that I got. So from the thrift bookstore, I had some sword credit, and I got The Haunting of Lee Harker by Darcy Coates and Gallows Hill by Darcy Coates. I want to do a whole Darcy Coates reading vlog, and I have managed to get all of her books at the thrift bookstore, except one. And then I picked up Quicksilver by Callie Hart because I was getting FOMO and I'm like, I have to know if this book is good. So I picked this up. I can't wait. I'm so excited. Thank you guys so much for watching this thriller reading vlog. It turned out to be a thriller reading vlog and I loved it so much. If you have any thriller book recommendations, leave them down below in the comments. I would love to hear it. And I think the next reading vlog will be fantasy or romantasy books. A Tempest of Tea will make an appearance. It just has to go back to the library right now, unfortunately. But I'll see y'all next time. Bye, guys.